What's up, everyone? It's KK, and today I'm going to go over a couple tips that completely change the way that I approach Exfil Zone and completely just change myself as a player in general. So let's go ahead and lock in. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here is line of sight. Now, line of sight is basically the line of sight that you have at a player or the sight that they have on you. And you want to know when you're able to block that and push up on a player without them knowing. So, for an example, if a player is somewhere over here in the motel and say you see them inside this building, they're somewhere around this doorway, as you're pushing up to them, you want to make sure you shift your body behind, this pole right here as cover and hide yourself from that doorway entrance as you're running up here so they don't exactly just see you, directly beelining over to them. Or another example, say you're trying to run into the mall here and there's a player over here maybe peeking, the top of the roof and you want to run. So you start going over here and you wait until you have line of sight on this little building right here, this little tower, and you use that to completely block yourself as you run over, and they're not able to see you at all as you make your way closer to their position. So anytime you're approaching a player in any way, always make sure you can line of sight them by using some type of object or building as you're pushing them so they don't have a good angle on you as you're pushing over, or just so they don't have a sight on you at all. Just keep yourself secret. Now, this is something that you should never ever do, and I see people do it way too often. Most of the time when they're running with their team of 3 is they pre-nade areas where they think a player is at. All right, what you never want to do is start an engagement with throwing a nade into an area where you think a player is at, or just because someone told you a player is in the area, you're simply pulling your nade and just chucking it over before you get over there. Throwing random nades with absolutely no direct information on where the player is at, the only thing it does is give your position away. It lets the other player know, okay, someone's looking for me, and what a player like me is just gonna instantly crouch and catch you at the best angle possible. All the nades do is just give you away. So if you want to ever throw a nade and someone says, hey, there's a player over here in this building, go up to the building first, maybe jiggle peek the window, find out exactly where they're at. Then you pull out your nade and you get a direct angle on where they're at. You never want to throw blind grenades, all right? All that does is to give your position away, and a good player will use that and use it against you. The next thing I want to talk about here, and probably one of the most important tips I can really give you, is to always fight at execution range, okay? Just because you're on a very big map like Dam or in a very big map like Suburb, don't see a player from a long range and just try to start picking off shots, especially if you have a red dot. Always make sure you get the position, push up on them as quickly as possible, and like I said, using line of sight to make sure they're not able to see you. Use trees, rocks, buildings. Get over to their position and make sure you get them close enough to where you know when you start shooting, they have nowhere to go and they're gonna be cooked, okay? You don't want to take those fights where you're tapping at them from a range. Now they know where you're at and it's an even playing field. They can start thinking, they can start plotting against you. You don't want them to be able to do that at all. You want to always fight at a range where you can get close and take them out all the time. The next tip I'm going to give you here, especially as a solo player and towards the end of the game, you should never be rocking around with 30 round mags anymore. You should only be using drum mags, okay? Especially for smaller maps like this in Smuggling Tunnel, multiple players can come around the corner at the same time. You need to be able to spray these players down very, very quickly and make sure you have enough ammo to stay in the fight, okay? Most of the times, I will bring in one drum mag and just a bunch of ammo, one backup 30 rounder. Or if you want 2 different drum mags and swap them in and out. Either way, having a drum mag and not using a 30 rounder is a lifesaver. I know, of course, sometimes you're gonna have an AR-308 or you're gonna use, a Second 17, different weapons that don't have, drum mags, but, when you can use one, always opt in to use a drum mag. And one of the last tips I want to give you here, and something that everybody should just really be aware of, and something that blows my mind every time I go into a raid, You need to learn how to crouch walk. When you get next to an important building like an office building in suburb, you want to crouch walk when you get close to it. Listen to see if there's a player in here. It's a very active spot on the map. You crouch walk first, you listen, okay, maybe there's no player there. Now you can start moving. Or if you enter the mall, stop running. If you ever hear any player's footstep ever, you should automatically go into a crouch walk, because the player that hears the other player's footsteps first and conceals their identity is always the one that's going to win. And that's pretty much my playstyle. I hear the player, I hear them first, I crouch walk, I go over into execute range, and boom, I just take them out. It's as simple as that. And that's pretty much how I've been playing since day one. It's never really changed. And that's pretty much gonna be it. So if you mix all these things together, you'll see a player, you'll push up to them with using line of sight. They're not gonna see you pushing up on them. You start crouch walking, you get to that execute range, you have a drum mag on you, and you easily take them out. You have the ammo capacity, probably shooting full auto, and it's over. That's pretty much the way you should be playing this game. Now, that's gonna be it for this video. As I said, hit the like button, hit the comment section, leave a tip for anyone else that needs any tips, and then go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content, and I'll catch you guys later.